What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another cartoon conspiracy theory with me, KMACK time. And as always, we have a great show lined up for you guys today. But before I go into this theory, I want to shout out the originator of this theory. I want to thank him for writing this as a great story. Of course, I'm talking about John Negroni. He has a website. I'm going to leave a link in the description. He makes all kinds of great fan fiction. He's a great writer, really good at this kind of stuff. Please go check him out. Shout him out as much as possible. Like I said, he is a guru with this kind of thing. And I'm gonna borrow this theory for him. If you guys may or may not have heard this before, I know it's been around the internet for quite some time now. I'm kind of late to the scene. I just didn't want to jump on this theory too early because I wanted Joe to get his proper credit for it, which is why I credit him, because I don't want to be jocking anybody's swag or nothing like that. But of course, we're talking about Andy's Mom's Toy Story 3 theory. Great theory. Great cartoon as well. I've made many theories on Toy Story already. I believe I've done the Holocaust connection. I've done at least 2 or 3 more on it on Toy Story 3 alone. So make sure you guys check those out. Links will be in the description to go check out those theories as well. Of course, we're talking today about the Andy's Mom theory. The theory goes that Andy's mom is actually Emily, who actually earlier in life owned Jessie, the cowgirl toy. Jessie was owned by Andy's mom when she was younger, and it makes a lot of sense. And we're gonna get into some evidence right here. As you can see here, this is Jessie the doll, has this hat. It looks just like Andy's hat, and we're gonna get into where that comes from in just one second. But before that, we're going to look at this picture, which is of Emily. It's a flashback from Toy Story 2 of Jessie and her original owner. I believe they say her name is Jessie. They don't give her last name. And coincidentally, they don't give Andy's mom's first name. So, it just kind of leaves it all. This leaves the door open for speculation. And as you can see from this next picture, which you're going to see right now, is that Woody's hat is totally different from Andy's hat, and Andy's hat looks just like the hat on Jessie. Now, where this gets very, very interesting is when you take a look at this scene from Toy Story 2 of Emily, who is the original owner of Jessie the doll, her room, and you can see this in the still shot, you can see that exact same hat, the one that's a replica of Jessie's hat, on Emily's bed. And you can see that from it looks just like the one that Andy wears in the original Toy Story, and later, and he wears it. He still has it later in the third movie. I believe he gives it all away. There's also a scene in Toy Story 2 where Emily puts all of her toys in storage. There's a flashback to it because the female doll character has a breakdown about being put back in storage. She has a flashback to when her owner, Emily, put them all in storage. And in that scene, you can see she's boxing up all of her toys, but she leaves out the cowgirl hat, the brown and white cowgirl hat. And it leaves the scene open to see that maybe she kept that and maybe she passed it on to her child. Another thing to point out from this scene is that it puts Emily at just about the right age. You can tell from the posters seen here on the wall, it's a groovy 60s, maybe 70s timeline of her being a child, would put her at the perfect age to have a son about the age of Andy when she is the age she is in the original movies and onto the last 2 movies. So it puts her at the perfect age range of being right where she should be. And also, it's good to point out that these original toys, the Woody and the Jessie dolls, were made in the 50s. They say that's an old family thing, and they're made in the 50s, so it would be a good place for her to also have this toy. It would have been in the family. And here is a picture of 3 pictures of Andy's mom, some close-ups of her face. Although they don't ever give a close-up face shot of Emily in Toy Story 2, she did have the same color hair, especially the one in the middle. She had that same strawberry blonde auburn kind of hair, and it's very easy to see that you could make that connection that her hair kind of got lighter, or maybe women kind of dye their hair. It's very easy to say that. She also had a similar style of hair in Toy Story 2, but that's just all that. So a full amount of what we know is we know Andy's mom. We don't know her first name, but we do know Emily's first name, but we don't know Emily's last name, leaving the door open to possibilities that the two could still be this one and the same. We also know that Andy's hat and Emily's hat are the exact same hat. We know Emily is old enough to be Andy's mom, and we definitely know that Pixar likes to do these kind of weird things like this, and without being overly open about it. They like to sprinkle these little things in for fans that really watch the show. And we also know that maybe just because Andy's mom doesn't recognize that it's her toy from her childhood. You see a lot of toys. There's a lot of these things made. She may have recognized that she had a toy like that, but obviously she didn't have any markings on it. So there's no way that she could tell it was actually her toy. So there's no reason to put that in this actual storyline. So basically what this boils down to is, by some stroke of luck or destiny, Jessie actually ended up being a possession of her original owner's son. So she went from being Emily's toy to Emily growing up, having a son, and then her son, who is Andy, somehow got his hands on his mom's original toy and played with it a lot, and actually became a big part of the movie. And that's basically the end of the theory, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know that is kind of confusing if you don't know the character's name. I probably did a terrible job of explaining this to you guys, so I apologize for that. But I will leave a link, like I said, to the original writer's website where you can read over this. He has great in-depth analysis over there on his website. Go check that out. And like I said, please check out some of my other cartoon conspiracy theories. I have like 2 or 3 on Toy Story alone, along with all other kinds of cartoons and movies and stuff like that going on. So make sure you guys check those out. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. And if you guys hit 500 likes on this video before the end of the weekend, like always, I will put out next week's cartoon conspiracy theory a day early for you guys. You guys have been killing it on that lately, guys. Can't thank you guys enough. Make sure, like I said, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. I'll get out of your guys' hair now, and as always, guys, have a great day. Game the fuck on. Until next time, guys, peace out.